Metrolink's newish Perris Valley commuter rail line is in many ways a dream come true for advocates of passenger rail in Southern California. A long underutilized and partially abandoned freight railroad line reincarnated as a modern passenger rail service instead of being abandoned and developed, as has been the fate of far too many interurban rail lines in California and the United States. But Metrolink's passenger rail service on the former BNSF San Jacinto subdivision, which was purchased by the Riverside County Transportation Commission in 1993 and finally opened to the public in June of 2016, also highlights many of the systemic problems holding Metrolink back from being the traffic-slaying juggernaut Southern California rail fans like myself have long known it could become, if only the proper capital investment and political courage could be located. While nearly all Metrolink lines feature sporadic, oddly clustered train schedules, completely devoid of meaningful off-peak or late-night service, nowhere in Metrolink's over 500 miles of trackage is this problem more acute and more painfully clear than on the shiny new Perris Valley extension. While much of the Metrolink rail system suffers from long segments of single track, Metrolink's scheduling practices are so bad that, at least on the Perris Valley line, even the lack of passing track cannot be blamed for the shortage of usable service, with trains being operated so irregularly that a great deal of additional train service could be added to the schedule without any single track related conflict at all. On weekends, there are no trains on the line at all, so if someone in LA wanted to visit Orange Empire Railway Museum in Perris, the crown jewel of Southern California's railroad history, they would be completely out of luck. On weekdays, they would be able to get to Perris from LA in the late afternoon, but they would not be able to get back to Los Angeles until the following morning, unless of course that following morning was a Saturday, in which case they would be SOL until Monday. As of 2017, monthly ridership on the Perris Valley line exceeded 8,000 boardings as an increasing number of Perris Valley to LA commuters wise up to the traffic-free commute offered by Metrolink. But what would Perris Valley ridership look like if Metrolink actually offered rail service to people traveling outside of what I will call the cookie-cutter van pool commute, into urban job centers in the morning and back to the suburbs at night? Metrolink's own long-range plan clearly identifies the lack of off-peak service as a major hindrance to its own success, yet as far as I can tell, little to nothing is being done to immediately add off-peak service on all of Metrolink's existing lines. Here in LA County, Metro's Expo line extension to Santa Monica, which opened just a month prior to the Perris Valley Metrolink line, boasted a staggering average monthly ridership just shy of 2 million boardings, reaching its projected ridership for the year 2030 a stunning 13 years earlier than expected. While it cannot go unsaid that Expo serves a far more densely populated area than the Perris Valley line, I think it is equally important to note that Metro has been running trains on the Expo line as frequently as every 6 minutes, even late into the night. As a transit rider, I can confidently take a trip from my home in South LA to Harvell's Blues Club in Santa Monica without fretting about whether or not there will be a train to take my happy drunken self home after a fun night of live music, because Metro wisely runs frequent service on all of its rail lines well past midnight. In addition to saving the people of LA County a ton of money on late-night Ubers, such frequent late-night service also helps reduce the rate of drunk driving accidents by encouraging prospective bar-goers to take the train instead of driving. Waiting an hour and a half for a late-night train is doable. Waiting overnight or all weekend is not. This lack of off-peak service is something Metrolink could fix quite easily, since such a fix would not necessarily require Metrolink to actually build anything new or buy any new equipment. All it would have to do is fill in the enormous gaps in the schedule with the trains it already owns, which are often left unused for many hours at a time. Despite the many NIMBY-related obstacles Metrolink faces, and there are many, for example, several planned stations on the Perris Valley extension, including one much closer to UC Riverside, were not built due to standard issue misguided NIMBYism. The unbuilt stations on the Perris Valley line are not the reason why Metrolink's train schedule is unworkable. Metrolink is why Metrolink's schedule is unworkable, and that's where you come in. One of the reasons that Metrolink's to-do list has grown so long is its overly complex and arduous governing structure. Much like how the United Nations is not itself a country capable of governance, and rather a union of independent nations, METROLINK is not really its own transit agency. It's actually a union of 5 county-level transit agencies, with their own unique political mandates and governing structures. The Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transit Authority, the Ventura County Transportation Commission, the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority, the Riverside County Transit Commission, and the Orange County Transportation Authority. Since all of the transit agencies which add up to METROLINK are administered at the county level, the elected officials most directly able to influence or improve METROLINK's operations are the county supervisors representing the aforementioned 5 counties. Today I call on those of you residing in Los Angeles, Ventura, Riverside, San Bernardino, or Orange counties to reach out to your county supervisors and ask them, why are METROLINK trains scheduled so infrequently? Why does METROLINK so completely lack adequate late-night and off-peak service? And what, if anything, is being done to immediately improve METROLINK service on all lines? You will find a list of all county supervisors for counties with METROLINK service down in the description, and I encourage you to call as many of them as possible. Also, don't worry about which specific supervisorial district you're in. Most people don't actually know what supervisorial district they live in, so supervisors are accustomed to taking calls from people all throughout their county. Additionally, speaking out in favor of improving METROLINK at county meetings is also an extremely effective way to push elected representatives to act to improve METROLINK. In early summer 2017, I personally attended a meeting of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors and addressed the supervisors on the topic of badly needed improvements to METROLINK. Just a few days later, Los Angeles County Supervisor Kathryn Barger, who represents the Antelope Valley, passed a motion to study needed improvements on the Antelope Valley METROLINK line, the only line 100% funded by Los Angeles County. While I don't know to what extent my comments influenced the decision to move forward with the study, I am quite confident that my public testimony in favor of improving METROLINK did not hurt. So call your county supervisors and demand frequent, off-peak, and late-night METROLINK service. If you want to help out even more, please check out my friends at the Rail Passengers Association of California and Nevada, or RailPAC, a non-profit rail advocacy organization that lobbies public officials for better passenger rail service throughout California and Nevada. If you don't have time to make calls yourself, but you still want to help, signing up for a RailPAC membership is a great way to contribute to the continued improvement of METROLINK rail service, because every dollar you pay in membership dues is used to make sure us train-loving rail passengers always have a seat at the table. Learn more about RailPAC and become a member at railpac.org. Once you've made some calls, leave a comment letting everyone know how it went and what kind of responses you got. Do any counties have something in the pipeline to address these issues already? Let us know. And of course, please like this video and subscribe to Los Angelist for more videos on the politics of trains. Thanks so much for watching.